I'm going to show you one more example of a math problem that involves us using information from the quadrilateral reference sheet in order to solve problems that involve numbers. So we needed to know these facts in order to solve problems that happen. So this is from an old Regents exam. And once again, it's a rhombus question. So in the diagonal below of rhombus ABCD, the diagonals AC and BD intersect at E. So they tell us that if AC is 18, if the length of that diagonal is 18, and the length of BD, the other diagonal, is 24, they want to know what is the length of one side of the rhombus. Remember, we know that one thing that makes rhombuses special is that all of their sides are congruent. So if we know one side, we know all of them. So let's say we're trying to solve for x here. Okay, and we're given the length of the two diagonals. So I want you to pause the video and I want you to go over the quadrilateral reference sheet and see if you can find two facts in there based on the information we have about these diagonals that can help us solve these problems. So look for those two facts and then join me back at the video by unpausing it. Well, one fact appears on the front side, because this is true of all parallelograms, that the diagonal of parallelograms bisect each other. So when we say that this side here is 18, we can say that this side is 9 and this side over here is 9. And when we say that the other diagonal has length 24, we know that this part of it has 12 and this part of it is 12. And so that's interesting fact. The other thing we know about rhombuses in particular is that the diagonals are perpendicular to each other. So I know that this is a right angle. So given the diagram as it stands right now, pause the video and see if you can figure out how to figure out what x is in this diagram. And if you know how to do it, do the calculations and come up with an answer, and join me back here and we will solve it together. Well, what we have here is we have a right triangle. And we know that one of the legs is 9 and the other one is 12. And they're asking us to find the hypotenuse of that right triangle. So this is something we've done before back in middle school, if not through algebra, that when we know the sides of a right triangle and we're trying to solve for the other, we can use the Pythagorean theorem. So we know that 9 squared plus 12 squared, the square of the length of the two legs added together, is equal to the square of the length of the hypotenuse. All right, let's bring up our calculator. If you happen to know how to solve this just by looking at it, then congratulations, that is an awesome skill that will serve you well. But 9 times 9 is 81, and 12 times 12 is 144. So that's equal to x squared. So 144 plus 81. So x squared is equal to 225. And so we take the square root. And so x, and remember, x has to be positive because this is the side of a rhombus. So it couldn't be negative 15. It has to be positive 15. Okay, so given the two lengths of the two diagonals of a rhombus, we can calculate the length of the side of the rhombus by using our facts that the diagonals of a rhombus or any parallelogram bisect each other. And since they are also perpendicular to each other in a rhombus, that gives us enough information to use the Pythagorean theorem to solve for the missing side.